part. Here we're going to talk about edible food-like substances. And you have a terrible look on your face, like that looks disgusting. Justifiably. These are foods that we think has protein in it. We're told that by these manufacturers, but I call them posers because they're just posing as food, and they're posing as food with protein in it. Here's one. See, this is excellent source of calcium. Like this is a great way to get our healthy food. It's a very unfortunate. So edible food-like substances, and here are a few. One is regular yogurt. Okay, not all Yoplait. I'm just picking on this one in particular. But this regular yogurt I don't consider to be a healthy yogurt. It's the plain yogurt. And the reason is that while it has 5 grams of protein, is that high? It's just okay. But people think a yogurt has calcium. Yes, it's a milk product, and it should have some redeeming value. But this particular yogurt has a lot of sugar in it. Anybody guess how many grams of sugar? 26. Is it up there?
Yeah.
It is up there.
We're reading your script.
Oh, that was a test to see if you were reading. So, but this isn't a great quality yogurt. Okay, so these I call food-like substances. Another one, you've all seen this? Why are they bad? Eggs in a container are so processed. They have very little nutrients left in them. If organic in here, better, yeah. If it's just the egg. If they put it through pasteurizing and through processes, then they're taking out some of the nutrients with it. They can't help but do that. So the best quality thing you can do is buy eggs. Anything with a label on it's going to have less nutrition in it. They have to add it back in. So here they've added in a lot of vitamins because in the process they had to take a lot out. Okay?
So, but if I'm buying organic, right, it's better?
It's better. This is not organic. This you can't even find in this store. I had to go to a different store to get all these foods, and it was devastating to me that I had to spend money on really low quality food to show you. I went home and I dumped everything down the drain immediately so I could keep the boxes, okay? So, you know, this isn't, these are egg whites, and they add gums and they add vitamins and they add a lot of different things in it. So if you look at this list, instead of just saying eggs, the ingredients list goes from here to here. It has lots of other things in it that really aren't healthy for us, that we don't really need.
But like, let's say if you want to eat an egg white, it's like a wasting to throw away the eggs, you know,
Right, right. So she's saying when you use an egg white, though, you're wasting the yolk, and it does feel like a little bit of a waste. It's actually less money to buy a whole flat of eggs and throw away the yolks than it is to buy, you know, comparable amount of this. But I tend to give the yolks to my dogs. They're old and they're happy to get them, and so, you know, it's a great match. Put it over their kibble, they're delighted. So yes, it can feel like a waste, but personally, I would rather not eat that many yolks and not put that in my body. It's kind of like if somebody leaves cookies at my house, I don't feel like I'm doing myself a favor by eating them versus letting them sit there and go to waste because it's a low quality food. I'd rather take care of myself and feel good that I made the right choices than eat something that's not a great choice. Now they do have, you know, eggs that are organic, that are white, and those are so much better than this particular brand. So it's all levels of quality. Yes?
But if you're working out as frequently as you do, is eating the yolk going to harm you that much?
You know, that's a good question. He's asking if you work out as much, you know, like someone like me, or many of you work out a lot, do the eggs harm you that much? And they're very high cholesterol. So for me, there are so many opportunities to not eat healthy that if 95% of the time I can make good choices and not have that cholesterol, that I'm making a choice that frees me up to maybe have a scone a little later in the week with a friend or something. So it's the things we do every day. So if I ate egg yolks every day, that would be too much cholesterol for me, for most people. They say 2 a week. So you can do it. You can even mix an egg yolk into 5 egg whites. And that's a better solution than eating all those eggs. And then you're only wasting the other egg yolks, not the one. Okay?
Cholesterol's not all bad for you.
Too much cholesterol is, but right. Some people make too much cholesterol. Not everybody processes it right. It depends on how many of the healthy fats you have. Are you eating oats to help lower your cholesterol levels? Are you eating bacon every day? So it's one of those cumulative effects, right? It's not bad just to eat yolks if you just eat yolks, but what are all the other things that we're doing? So it's a matter of levels, cleaning it up to a point where it's really clean. And you know, if you don't have a cholesterol problem and you're in touch with that, and you have some eggs, sometimes it does absolutely no harm. But a lot of us have a lot of issues with our health, and so I'm coming more from a prevention standpoint, and for people who have some disease and some illness, like the normally fit person, you know, they could even, someone that works out all the time and they look great, they could be eating garbage every day and they still look great. But you don't know what's going on the inside too. So I would just get, you know, I always tell people, get your blood work done. Check your levels, have your doctor go over it with you. Bill, do you get your blood work done?
I did.
Good job.
I started juicing.
Yeah?
And then 2 months later I checked and my cholesterol went down 35 points.
Wow. So Bill said he started juicing, eating healthier, his cholesterol level went down 35 points. It's amazing how, I'm sorry?
Did he say in 2 months?
In 2 months. It's amazing how you change your diet and your body responds.
I went down 41 points in 1 month.
41 points in 1 month hers went down. That's great. Really good. You made a wonderful change that is not too hard to do. That's wonderful. So the next one are diet bars. And I don't mean all protein bars. I'm going to pick on this one because this is a diet bar. It's about 100 calories, but it has 9 grams of, or actually 6 grams of protein, but it has a lot of saturated fat in it. And the ingredients are very, they add a lot of sugar into it. So again, it's food quality. Yes, you know, this is positioned as a protein plus fiber bar, right? This is just one of those things where don't buy this for the protein. Buy anything, anything other than this for protein. Okay, go get a yogurt. This is not helping you. If you have one of these for breakfast, one of these at lunch, and a reasonable dinner, you'll lose weight. You will, but you'll lose a lot of your muscle, and then your metabolism will drop. Because if we go back to this, you lose 1 pound of muscle, all of a sudden you have to eat about 50 calories less every day. Because this is what helps determine your metabolism. See, it works the other way. You build it, you add calories.
What is that? Sometimes you actually have to eat more in order to lose weight.
That's a good question. So she's asking what happens when you have to actually eat more to lose weight. There are some of my clients that I coach, and they don't eat enough calories. And they can't understand why they don't lose weight. And I have one client, very, very overweight, and I went through, what is it that you're eating? I just started working with her. She was only eating 800 calories a day. She was at such a huge deficit that drove her body into, you know, we've all heard this before, that starvation mode. It's so very true. Sometimes you have to feed yourself more for your, how can you get, she's asking how can you get off from there? Actually with a little bit of help. You can do it yourself if you're really disciplined, but what I do is I bring people up. So say for 2 weeks, I'm going to say every day, Anastasia, I want you to eat 200 calories extra a day of good quality food. Protein, vegetables, you know, nothing bad for you. We're going to hold you there for 2 weeks. And guess what? With even those extra calories, you won't gain weight. And then the next week, we're going to bump it up again. So we've taken you from 800 calories, for example, to 1,000 calories. Guess what? You don't gain weight. 2 weeks later, we've taken you up to 1,200 calories. You're still not gaining weight. 1,400 calories. Okay? Then when there's room to drop the calories, then you lose weight. You've trained your body that you're eating every 4 to 5 hours. You've trained it to know that you can let go of the fat. You don't have to hold on to it. Your hormones start working better. Your body starts working more efficiently. And then there's room to drop it. But if you're at 800 calories or 1,000 calories or even 1,200 calories a day, especially if you're working out, there's no room to lower your calories. And so people think the common misconception is fewer calories mean losing weight. Well, it depends. So I put everybody on a, you know, no more than 500 calorie deficit every day if they want to lose weight.
But what if you go from 800 up to, in 1 week up to 1,600?
Right, that's a great question. she's asking, what if you go from like 800 calories a day to about 1,600 a day? Well, you'll gain weight because your body's going to go into shock and just hoard it all. It's because you haven't taught it that it can let go of it. So all of a sudden, if you, and I've actually been through that myself. I was eating very little. I was what's called skinny fat. I had 30% body fat. But in eating this way and eating healthy, I went from 30% body fat down to 18% in 8 weeks. Just through food and 3 hours of exercise a week, 3 hours of weight training, through the food. And I had to bring myself up slowly. At first I didn't know. So I just started eating the calories that I knew I should be eating, and I put on 3 or 4 pounds. Well, of course, that freaks anybody out. Nobody wants to do that. So I went back down, and I just gradually increased it to the point where you don't gain weight. You're just teaching your body that it's okay.
What if you have like 11% body fat?
Is that bad? So she's asking if a person has 11% body fat, is that bad? For men, that's a healthy body fat. For women, that's pretty lean. The average body fat percentage for a woman, feel free to take a seat anywhere if you can find one. The average body fat percentage for a woman that's a healthy range is like 20 to 22%. Okay, you get down, everybody needs about 20 pounds of fat on their frame. Doesn't mean you're unhealthy. It's just, you know, the average woman is about 30% body fat. That's too much body fat. Some of us, I have clients come to me 40% body fat, 50% body fat. I had a gentleman come to me, he was over 300 pounds and he got down to 180 pounds. So he's in a normal body fat range. But for women, that's not necessarily unhealthy, but you know, I would just always be mindful of the fact that, you know, fat is a good thing. We all need some cushioning, just the right amount. The problem is too many of us have too much cushioning. So this is another area. I call them faux meats or mock meats. And these are things like Smart Dogs, where they're made of all these different things. So it's soy protein isolate. So it's mostly soy. These are called transitional foods by the food industry. These are foods for people who are there saying, for vegans, instead of eating meat, this is transitional. But they're not really giving people very good quality. It's mostly soy, mostly isolated soy. They have to really get into our Brazilian rainforest to create this sort of thing. And they use a toxic chemical to isolate that soy in that process. So there are chemicals involved, and they also include salts and sugars and a lot of other ingredients, maltodextrin, things that we don't really need. So I call these food-like substances because they're not really food. They're made to look like food. I found, I don't think they're good quality food. Okay, it's going to be better quality for you to buy this than a hamburger at a fast food restaurant. I would do real foods, not in a package. I would do beans and rice and, you know, those kinds of things. Get your proteins other ways. Tofu's not bad. It's not bad. It's processed though. Yes, hi.
There's like a big debate about whether soy is healthy or not. I just want to know
right.
where you stand with that.
Right.
Soy proteins create an acidic environment in the body and have the estrogen, the excess estrogen levels. And then I also hear that the soy fat that's in chocolate is okay, so I'm not sure.
Ah, I haven't heard of that. Okay, so his question is, are soy products good for you in terms of the food quality? So it kind of goes back to soy being not as absorbable in the system as whey protein and as egg protein. So soy, it's not that soy is really that bad for you, but it's you need to eat a lot more of it, gram for gram, for your body to absorb the same levels. So you have to eat almost like another 30 to 40% of a soy product for your body to absorb the proteins than you would a whey product or an animal meat product or any other sort of protein. The other question was related to estrogens, is that right? I think soy products, it's just something I'm very leery about. There's been a lot of research in that area. I think soy products have been known to kind of play with women's estrogen levels and have been implicated in incidences of breast cancer I don't know exactly the truth about that. I've looked at a lot of different research, and the problem is there's so many different sources of research. Well, it's who's conducting it? What are their biases? But I think if there's question about something, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and let it play out before I overindulge in it. But I think anything that's natural, like edamame soy, I'll eat that. It's not processed. I just think too much of one thing. If someone drank processed soy every single day, twice a day, I'd be leery of that. I would just say, you know, balance and try to get, I think with anything, as much of your food from whole foods as you can. And then if you can't, supplement with foods that are processed, pantry foods, but be smart about, you know, reading those labels. Does that, and then you had another question about soy and chocolate. Oh, acidity, okay. Right, right. So his question is soy acidic, and I think that if you look at soy products, if you had edamame, I would say no, that's not acidic. Proteins by nature, though, are a little bit more acidic than vegetables, okay? But it is a plant-based vegetable, so I've done a lot of pH testing, and I've tested things like Equal and NutraSweet and one of my neighbors here, Equal and NutraSweet and other foods and how it affects your pH balance. It's absolutely critical. We should do a whole session on that. And I don't know that soy actually affects it negatively. I've not heard that at all. So I think that's fine. Okay, here's one here too. This is a high protein, this is called a protein shake. Okay, one of the brands I'm picking on is Special K. This has 5 grams of fat in it and 18 grams of sugar. So much sugar. So if you're reading food labels, you don't want more than about 4 grams. So if you look at sugars here, 18 grams. Anything that has more than 4 grams is too much sugar. So you're trading out 10 grams of protein for 18 grams of sugar. Probably not a great protein choice. So now we're going to go on a little bit of a protein search challenge. We're going to go through the store and we're going to hit a few areas, and I'm actually going to put you to the test and see what you learned today. I'd like you to find the best quality yogurt, the best quality boxed cereal, protein bar, protein powder, and grains. And we're going to go through the aisles, and we're going to spend about 5 minutes in each aisle. For those of you who have the time, I hope most of you will join us. And I want you to look at labels and see if you can find these products with the highest level of protein, but balance that out with the lowest grams of sugar and the lowest amount of fat, okay? Saturated fat in particular. It can have a little fat, like if it has nuts or something, great. But I'd like you to read the ingredients list. And when you're looking at the proteins, we'll be looking at in grams. If we're looking at the whey proteins, we'll be looking at choosing something with whey protein concentrate or isolate? Do you remember which one has the better quality? Concentrate or isolate? Isolate. Yes, you guys got that. So are you ready to go walk the aisles? Sure. So we're going to start off with the protein bars, okay? Okay, so let's look at the ingredients.
Do you have to look at the ingredients? Yeah.
So remember, what we want to do is we want to look for the highest protein, the lowest sugar, and the lowest fat as possible. Now some of these bars aren't protein bars. Some of them are snack bars, some of them are nut bars. Some have protein, some don't.
Is sugar alcohol just like a substitute? Is that what they are?
Right, that's a good question. So sugar alcohol is not as many calories, and it's not as absorbed by your body, so it's a lot sweeter.
Oh, okay.
And so sugar alcohols are, it is a form of alcohol.
Is that like a Splenda or something?
It's actually totally separate. It's an alcohol like regular alcohol, but your body doesn't absorb it, and it can actually upset your stomach a little bit.
Oh, okay. That would make sense.
Sugar alcohols, yeah.
A bunch of bars.
Yeah,
Sugar
it does
is
make
bad?
them much sweeter though. I'm sorry?
Sugar alcohol, is it bad? I mean,
It's not horrible. It's not horrible. So we have a vote for a Think Thin bar.
Yeah.
Heather votes Think Thin. So I want Bill to share his comment. Come here, Bill. This
Yes.
is Bill.
Yeah.
Bill shared a comment that was fairly brilliant that I thought would be great to share. So tell everybody what you told me.
I don't eat that kind of stuff. It's not good for you. I don't need protein bars or whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah. So what he said is, you know, do I have to look at these if I'm not planning on eating them?
Yeah.
and that's really a good point, because the issue with protein bars is they are processed.
Yeah.
A better alternative is healthy whole food. If you have to have a protein bar, if you're starving and your blood sugar is dropping and there's no food around, it's not a bad thing. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, this is not the best quality.
I do a lot of cycling, and there's times you get to the edge of the bonk, and
Right.
you need a goo or you need a, you know, a bar. But
Right, exactly.
I don't buy them.
Well, that's exactly how they should be used. So I thought I'd make a special point because it was brilliant. Good job, Bill. Thank you. What does this teach us? What do we know about bars?
Get off of the loaded bars. Eat real food.
Don't eat them. Pretty much, right. Don't eat them unless you need to. Unless your blood sugar's low and you feel like you really have to. You know, no more than a few a week probably, if you had to. They're better quality protein choices. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. You ready to go onto the yogurt aisle?
Yes.
Good job, Bill. Okay, this way. Nancy's Greek yogurt. What's that?
You know, I just was looking at it, but it's high sugar and some items I don't recognize. I was looking at some good things, but
yeah,
I was
that's
looking
good.
for non-fat Greek yogurt, right?
Okay, non-fat is
So
good.
you've seen this one, like for example, has 3 grams of sugar. This
Uh-huh.
one has 6, and the protein here is 15, here is 13. And
Okay,
this one has, well, they pretty much the same, 80 calories to half a cup.
okay. Well, they're kind of equivalent. You're
Yeah.
kind of trading off a little protein and
Yeah, but if
and
this
sugar.
one would be non-fat, then this would be even less calories.
Right, right. They're both probably good choices.
Yeah, but I'm just looking sometimes that this one could have way less sugar than the
Right,
Greek yogurt.
right. There are yogurts with absolutely no sugar in it,
Yeah, I know.
or added sugar too.
It's cold.
Is it cold?
Oh, yeah, my feet are cold.
Huh? Oh, you are?
the
Yeah, me too. My hands are
refrigerator.
very, very cold. So what are we all finding?
Stuff that's has a lot of carbs.
A lot of carbs.
1 gram of protein.
1 gram of protein?
Yeah, the almond one.
Really? Which one was that?
The almond dream one.
Almond Dream. Oh, 1 gram of protein. That's really low.
Yeah.
That's not very good. So do we find some? Bill loves yogurt, so he'll be picking a good one.
What can you do if you don't like yogurt? Like what about adding granola? Would that be
Like if you don't like the flavor of the
Yeah.
yogurt, is it a flavor thing or a textural thing?
texture?
Texture.
Me,
Yes.
I had fruit, like really ripe strawberries or peaches or something, because you're gonna if you're gonna eat that peach alone with that sugar, you may as well put it in a
That's
yogurt.
true.
Yeah, it's really
because
good that way.
The proteins in in the yogurt will help kick those
Yeah.
sugars
With the
aside.
texture too.
It will, yeah. Or you can put some sunflower seeds in it, or, you know, anything. I put a little bit of PB2, which is the peanut butter powdered and all the fats have been extracted out of it. A little bit of peanut butter and a little bit of stevia, and it tastes like peanut butter, sweet. It's no, I thought it up like a couple of years ago. But I don't know that they have PB2 here, but you can get it online for certain. But you could check here with a little bit of stevia. But
No, they're getting
good.
tricky. They're
Okay.
talking milligrams. What is this milligram?
milligrams
God,
of
we gotta do-
potassium.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
carbs, 1 carb.
Didn't see that.
Yeah, it's tiny type. It's like 6-point type.
Hold it back far enough.
Yeah. How much protein's in
Oh,
here?
there you go.
1 gram
Trying
of
to find
fat.
it. Where is the protein?
Protein is here. 15 or 16 grams of protein.
Good to know.
That's a good one. So that's, and that's organic too.